Sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah, I bet.
Delia, I came up to wait for Clem, who's on his way over to see Jack. I'm sorry you thought I was Pat. I didn't try to walk like Pat, and I'd like very much to avoid a fight.
Pat's moved out of here. You're glad, aren't you?
Pat, he moved back to the hospital.
Yeah, he picked up everything and he just left. Didn't you hear him?
No, I was out till about 5 or 10 minutes ago.
You see, I knew it. I knew you would be happy that my one friend in this family isn't going to be around anymore.
Well, I think he's made a very sensible choice, and he's only across the street. I hope you can manage without him.
All right, Mary. You don't want to get into a fight? Okay, I have to help Maeve. I promised her I would, help her clean the stove.
I notice you've been pitching in a lot since your trip to Boston.
Yeah, well, I've realized that certain things are very important to me. After almost leaving this family and leaving the country, I have a whole new outlook on things. I know I've made certain mistakes and I've done some stupid things, but believe me, I'm planning to make up for that.
You certainly did turn your back on some attractive possibilities when you let Roger sail away by himself. Money, travel, a good life.
Mary, I think the good life is right here.
Don't you ever wonder what Roger's doing? I mean, while you're cleaning the stove, he's having a rather lonely voyage across the Atlantic. When do you suppose he'll be back?
I don't know.
Probably any time now. Well, I'm sure you'll know exactly how to deal with him.
Mary, would you get that?
Hi.
Hi. Jack's not doing so good.
Bad enough that he wanted me to call you. He says it's his back. Good.
Hi, Clem.
Try Dee.
Hello?
Delia, this is Father McShane.
Hi, Father. How are you?
Worried, actually. I had a long discussion with Pat this afternoon. I think you and I better talk, too.
Well, Pat told me everything, and I understand perfectly.
I'll expect you at the rectory in half an hour, Delia. The time to get help is now before you hurt yourself and anybody else anymore.
Roger, you're home.
Yes, dear sister. The weary traveler has returned.
This summer,
Something is going on. Something huge.
you won't believe who's back in Pine Valley.
We're gonna have so much fun.
Torsten
I
Kay,
missed you so much.
Katie McLean,
Dixie?
Carol Burnett, Josh
I
Duhamel.
love you. And I love Ryan.
Unforgettable characters,
Just let them be happy for 5 minutes.
unforgettable couples,
Always only you.
all returning for one unforgettable summer on All My Children.
You have a lot of enemies when you're Todd Manning.
This week.
And my identity, my family, thing from my life.
Now, the moment his family never expected.
Oh my God. Who are you?
I'm Todd Manning.
And you're not.
Watch One Life to Live, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 9 on SoapNet.
Would you like to be my friend? I can run just like the wind. I will hide up in that tree. No one will ever find me. Wish this day would never end. Would you like to be my friend? Everybody's trying hard to catch me.
Only Kleenex brand has Sneeze Shield in all its tissues to help catch sneezes in their tracks, so kids can pass on the fun of being a kid. Sneeze Shield your kids wherever they go. Now in new convenient on-the-go packs.
Paxil, Zoloft, and Depakote, if taken during pregnancy, may cause birth defects.
If you or a loved one took Paxil, Zoloft, or Depakote during pregnancy and your child was born with a serious birth defect, you may be entitled to a cash award and medical expenses. If your child suffered a serious birth defect and you took Paxil, Zoloft, or Depakote during pregnancy, call 1-877-399-5799 now.
What you got there?
Sesame stir fry from Lucky Dynasty.
Oh, me too. But mine's lean cuisine, so no preservatives.
Lean Cuisine has 90 dishes with no preservatives and quality ingredients like farm-picked broccoli and tender white meat chicken. Lean Cuisine.
We asked real people right off the street to help us with an experiment for the Febreze Set and Refresh. They agreed.
Take a deep breath. What do you smell?
There's a freshness. Actually, it takes me outdoors.
Apples and pears.
Sort of a crisp, fresh feeling.
It's a friendly environment.
Go ahead and take your blindfold off.
No. The Febreze Set and Refresh with scented oils that eliminate odors for 30 days, so you can breathe happy, guaranteed.
I'm Joanna from Texas. I lost 34 pounds with Hydroxycut.
I'm Robert from Chicago, and I lost 43 pounds.
I'm Karine from New York, and I lost 51 pounds with Hydroxycut. It really works.
Hydroxycut and Hydroxycut Max. Lose weight. Start now.
Well.
Join me?
No. Thanks.
So, where have you been, exactly?
Well, first to Southampton by ship, and then to the London airport and home.
Shorter than the average trip.
Well, there were a few diversions on the crossing. I got into a few good games.
Gambling games?
Mm-hmm.
How much did you lose?
Oh, a little over 300, which isn't bad considering I was down 2,000 at one point.
Well, it sounds like a pretty dismal vacation.
Well, it wasn't what I hoped it would be. So, how are things on the home front?
Well, calm, except for Jill. Looks like she may miscarry.
Why? Well, she wasn't hurt, was she?
No. It's spontaneous. She had heavy contractions and bleeding at first. Dr. Wolf ordered complete bed rest, but she's feeling much better now. The outlook still doesn't look good, though.
Yeah, maybe that's just as well. I mean, as long as she's all right. I'll give her a call later. You know, Faith, originally I hadn't planned on traveling alone.
Yeah, I know.
I guess Delia got home all right.
Yeah?
Have you seen her?
No.
It was the strangest situation. I mean, one minute there we were in a first-class cabin together, and the next minute she was gone. In the time it took me to go out for a bottle of champagne, she just vanished into thin air. Fool that I was. I thought she had wandered out after me and gotten lost somewhere on the ship. So as the ship was pulling out from the dock and heading out to sea, I searched. The steward searched with me. After 2 hours had gone by, there were a lot of people searching. I mean, we even thought that she might have fallen overboard.
How awful.
The funny thing was, I never even checked to see if her baggage was gone. When I did, I realized that I was on the ship and she was clearly on the shore. She just decided to go. Bizarre, isn't it?
It's sad. And I really didn't realize how you must have felt.
What do you mean you didn't realize? Faith, did you know this whole story?
Well, I knew she left the ship.
What else do you know? Faith, why did she change her mind?
Pat went after her.
What?
He followed her and persuaded her to go back to the Ryans with him. They got off the ship right before it sailed. Yeah, he rescued her once again.
Damn, Ryan!
Now that was a waste of good liquor. Look, Roger, I'm sorry. I really am that she didn't go with you. I would have liked nothing better.
Faith, she set me up.
I wonder.
There's nothing to wonder about. I thought about it all the way across the Atlantic. How she might have gotten me to take her away, but never intended once to get any further than Boston. But I just couldn't believe it. There was no reason. But now it's perfectly clear. She used me. I was her decoy to get Pat to rescue her.
Well, that's what happened anyway.
Well, that's what Delia made happen. All right, where's she now? In the protection of the Ryan household? With Pat as her special protector?
No, she's at the Ryan household now, but from what I hear, nobody's very pleased with her, and that includes Pat.
I certainly hope so. Because the idea of Delia getting back a little bit of what she deserves certainly is nice.
And in my opinion, she ought to get a great deal of what she deserves.
All she's going to get from me is a few blunt words. Well chosen. And spoken loud and clear.
How about above the waist? Is there any sensitivity to pressure?
I don't know, some.
Okay, champ, you can relax. I tell you, I can't find a problem except for the disc, which seems to be doing okay. You are not a fountain of information about where it hurts, so we'll assume that you've just been wheeling around a little too much. Why don't you stay out of the wheelchair tomorrow and see if that helps?
Okay, I might do that.
No, he's going to consider it. I think he's going to consider it. Yeah.
Listen, you were wonderful come over. Now we'll be able to sleep tonight without worrying about some new complication.
Yes, I'm a bit relieved myself.
Clem, you have time to answer a couple of questions?
Sure.
Would you mind if we talk alone?
Of course not. I'll be out in the living room.
When they brought me in after the accident, you were in the operating room, weren't you?
Yes, I assisted Alex for nearly 8 hours, yes.
Right. Now, I want you to think before you answer, because this is very important to me. Did Alex have to go as far as he did with the surgery? Was it all absolutely essential? Was some of it more radical approach than you or some other doctor might have chosen?
If Alex had done any less, you would have been dead and buried.
What I'm concerned about is the abdominal blood vessels Alex tells me he had to tie off.
That's why you called me over here.
Uh-huh.
There's no back problem.
No. I didn't want Mary to be involved in this discussion. You know what he did to me?
I know your iliac artery was leaking. If Alex hadn't tied it off, the internal bleeding would have killed you. And I know you have a problem with the sexual function as a result. And I regret that very much.
Yeah. So, what can modern medicine do for me now?
There's a bypass operation. It's by no means a sure thing.
When could I have it?
Soon as you're in A1 condition again.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I'd like to have it soon, right away.
No, you're asking for a trip to the morgue. Your heart will stop on you. It'll give out on the table, on the table. Are there any more questions?
One. Alex's attitude during surgery and after, did he seem pleased with himself or what?
He was very sad. He was terribly worried, but I'm not the man to talk with you about that. You'll have to talk to Alex.
I already talked to him.
Then talk to him again. Get to him and bring him back here and talk to him again tonight. Jack, come on. Now clear your doubts before they get a hold on your throat.
All right. I'm not giving up on the surgery.
Okay, I'll tell Mary to call Alex. You take it easy, you hear? Needs to see Alex. I think he's still at the hospital.
What's the matter?
It's nothing physical, but Jack's more than a little paranoid right now, especially of his surgeon.
I know, but I thought maybe the safest thing would be to keep them apart for a while.
It's just the opposite, I'd say. Unless we get them together face to face, Jack's likely to dream up even more wilder suspicions.
Oh, okay.
We've got to do something. That husband of yours, he's likely to think up something very foolish.
You don't understand the pain that I'm feeling.
The Spencers have never been more vulnerable. It's Jax. He's back. Can't you go any faster? Look out! Oh my God.
Watch General Hospital weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 10 on SoapNet.
Who knew this getting older thing could go so smoothly?
See up to 10 years disappear in a stroke with new Visible Lift Smooth Absolute Foundation from L'Oreal. Smooth skin to ageless perfection. Our luxurious brush takes years off instantly, filling lines and smoothing wrinkles, while Hydrocollagen plumps and hydrates. 91% of women saw smoother skin right away.
Smooth is the new young.
New Visible Lift Smooth Absolute. 10 years smooth away in an instant. Only from L'Oreal.
We can be sexy forever. Because we're worth it.
Hi! It's water from the drinking fountain at the mall. Isn't it great? Thank you. Bye!
Great tasting tap water can now come from any faucet, anywhere. Introducing the Brita bottle with a filter inside.
Join us.
Join us?
Join us, join us.
At the table.
Get ready for The Chew, a new talk show where everyone brings something to the table.
To make a creamy soup without the cream, use tofu.
For fresh ingredients, nothing beats local.
This local enough for you? Treat yourself to something delicious.
If you love beef, try pastrami instead of bacon on your burger.
Make every recipe your very own.
Join The Chew, weekdays, coming Monday, September 26th, only on ABC.
Well, it's not very easy for me to come during dinner time. But if you think it's so important...
Yes, I certainly do.
Well, you don't have to worry about Pat. See, he told me exactly what you said. He said that you want us to be careful. See, I agree with you completely. He moved out of the apartment, and he went back to the residence' quarters, and there's no problem with everything. No problem. We're in perfect shape.
In perfect shape for what, may I ask?
For not rushing things. You know.
I'm afraid I do.
What did Pat say to you that you're looking at me like that? Father, what did he say to you?
What he said to me was confidential, and our conversation will be too. Now, in case you're genuinely confused, I didn't advise Pat to go slowly with you. I advised him to avoid you entirely and permanently.
Permanently? How could you possibly do that?
Your brother-in-law cannot be the next man you take up with.
Father, he's my dearest and my oldest friend. Now, you say next man. What do you think I am, some horrible woman who goes around collecting men?
Now, please stop that. I'm concerned because I've known you for a long time. Since you were little, as a matter of fact. And I've come to believe we understand one another.
I don't understand you, Father.
I'm well aware of your history with Pat and Frank and Roger. You've trusted me to listen to your problems and go to bat for you many times.
Yes.
Over the years, I've come to see your tremendous need to be with the Ryan family. I venture to guess you're desperate to be with them at this very time.
Of course I am. Frank is divorcing me, and I lost custody of little John.
Yes. Your life has come to a critical point. I appreciate that. But Pat, Ryan is not the answer for you.
Father, I love him. And I've always loved him, and I know he loves me. We've been lovers since we were in high school. See, Frank was just a substitute. Now, I realize that now. And Roger, I just turned to him because I was upset, and I was confused, and I was very lonely. But you see, Pat isn't just the next man. I mean, he's the only one all along.
The trip you planned with Roger. Pat's going after you to Boston?
Boston was the most beautiful time that we've had with each other in 7 years. See, it was bound to happen, and I'm glad that it finally happened, and it was good, and it was exactly...
Exactly what you'd hoped for.
No, what I needed.
Delia, seducing your husband's brother is a grave sin.
But you don't commit a sin if you do something and you didn't mean to. I mean, then that would make up a mortal sin. I mean, you have to have the intention to do something evil, and I didn't have that.
No? Have you considered the effect a relationship between you and Pat would have on the rest of the Ryan family?
I'm sure the Ryans would eventually accept everything.
In Maeve and Johnny's eyes, as well as the eyes of God, you remain Frank's wife, now and after the divorce.
What about in my eyes? What about in my heart? Frank isn't my husband anymore. Now, I've explained this to Pat, and he understands. Well, maybe God would understand also.
God's law doesn't bend at your convenience. You presume too much.
Father, would you just name one thing that I've done that Frank isn't guilty of doing? Now, he seduced Jill. Well, maybe he let Jill seduce him. But why don't you say that Frank is the greatest sinner in the world? But you don't do that. You get mad at me and you say that I am. Well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to stand in front of a church in a sackcloth with ashes just because I want to be with the man that I love?
Let's not get sidetracked into Frank's frailties. I'll tell you very simply what I'd like you to do. Go along with my suggestion that you and Pat remain apart.
Father, I'm going to marry Pat.
Now, you need a chance to think. On your own, away from Pat. Now, I can arrange for you to stay at a retreat house in the country. You could participate in the retreat at your own convenience. You'd have a few weeks of peace, and it wouldn't cost you any money. Delia, you'll have time to consider the consequences of this outrageous plan.
First of all, it's not outrageous. Second of all, Father, the consequences have already started. At least that's what I suspect. So I think it's a little bit too late now. See, I think I'm carrying Pat's baby.
Delia!
Next, spend some time in Genoa City with the Young and the Restless. Later, see who's stirring up trouble in Pine Valley on All My Children, only on SoapNet.
Erica Kane snaps. Next stop, OK Then.
We're gonna have so much fun. Janet!
Now it's one crazy run-in after another.
Oh my God, Dixie!
Leading up to the most amazing reunion yet. Watch All My Children, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 8 on SoapNet.
Next week on all new jam-packed news. Hey, little monsters, she's back. Pop sensation Lady Gaga performs live on our stage. Plus, late-night talker Jimmy Fallon and Katie Couric gets into her comfort zone as guest co-host. Next week on All New Views on ABC.
My recipe for French toast? Tay toast. Spread with I can't believe it's not butter. Add Jacques. He's French. We like.
Now 4 out of 5 butter lovers agree that I can't believe it's not butter tastes as good as fresh butter with 70% less saturated fat and 30% fewer calories than butter.
Now you can have it all.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Bold. Hold. Discover the hold of a long wear in the luxury of a lipstick. Infallible Le Rouge from L'Oreal. Fancy. 30 luscious shades with breakthrough power hold pigments and nourishing vitamin E for the most luxurious 10-hour color. L'Oreal's Infallible Le Rouge.
I'm Ronnie from Jersey Shore, and keeping it real is what it's all about. That's why I use Xenadrin.
I'm Sonia, and I got real Xenadrin results. I lost 35 pounds, and I've never felt this sexy.
Get Xenadrin today.
Get Xenadrin. Get results.
This summer, the party's on SoapNet.
We have a party to rock.
You'll never take over my life.
Nothing is going to change how I feel about you.
That love can't die, baby.
Oh, it is so on.
What? Shut up! And you won't believe who's coming.
You're back.
This is one summer shindig you don't want to miss.
I am ready to have the summer of my life.
Only on SoapNet.
You have a lot of enemies when you're Todd Manning.
This week.
On my identity, my family, thing from my life.
Now, the moment his family never expected.
Oh my God.
Who are you?
I'm Todd Manning. And you're not.
Watch One Life to Live, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 9 on SoapNet.
People are talking about General Hospital's Laura Wright and a recent Emmy win. Octavia Evans posted on Facebook, "Congrats, it is well deserved." Michelle Taylor adds, "I love Carly on the show. She makes every episode eventful." And Kim Lally agrees, she's a terrific actress. People are talking about General Hospital, weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 10 on SoapNet.
You don't understand the pain that I'm feeling. The Spencers have never been more vulnerable.
It's Jax. He's back. Can't you go any faster? Look out!
Watch General Hospital weekdays on ABC and weeknights at 10 on SoapNet.
You know, you made me really angry when I was here before. All that talk about my not taking your condition seriously, my not caring. All that other nonsense you threw at me. Well, it got my back up, which takes a lot. But it happened precisely, Jack, because I do care. Very much. And you made it impossible for me to say so.
Okay.
Wish to God Johnny hadn't been the one to tell you. But I know he apologized. I'm sure he was sincere.
Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, he's sincerely sorry that his daughter ever got mixed up with me. That part I believe. The rest of his double talk was just so much hot air.
Well, at least he tried. I imagine that was easy for him.
You kidding? Guy had himself a terrific time. He loves coming in here. Grabs the smallest excuse anytime he can. Now that he figures I'm down for good. Just stands in the doorway, looks at me. He's won all over again.
What on earth are you talking about?
My relationship with Johnny Ryan could be characterized as one endless boxing match. Right now, he figures that I'm down and out. And he's thrilled. He didn't tell me I'm impotent by accident. He planned it. He looked forward to it for weeks. One of the greater pleasures of his life.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't just believe that. But what's more important to me right now is convincing you that I am not the least bit thrilled. Jack, I'm desperately sad. If there were any other way of getting you out of this, you know I'd have tried, spared you this.
All right. Let's talk about clinical stuff. You know that I saw Clem.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary mentioned it briefly when she called me.
I want another opinion about having the repair surgery done now.
Of course. Now, what do you say?
Same as you. Only more so, he said that I'd be dead before they could open me up to do the bypass.
Jack, look, any reputable surgeon is going to tell you the same thing. An operation at this point would almost certainly kill you.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I'll get another opinion. And another one. Until I hear what I want to hear.
Look, nobody would risk it unless it's an absolute critical necessity, Jack.
It is an absolute critical necessity. For me.
All right. If you insist, I'll order the procedure as soon as possible. Sooner than I would recommend.
Not months from now.
Okay. Okay, weeks, I promise.
I'll be ready. And when it's over and I'm right again, I hope Mary's still around.
My friend, that woman is absolutely hopelessly in love with you. All she ever talks about is you. Your baby. How she's going to stay with you forever. Now, what do you mean, if she's still around? Look. Jacko, I hope we've straightened out a couple of things, huh?
Yeah. See you.
Okay. Well, I think he listened.
Oh, Alex.
We sort of cleared the air. I think she'll be better now.
Thank you. You're so good to us.
Well, you're kind of good to me, you know. That's a fine reward for a late house call.
You are doubly rewarded.
In Landview, rules were meant to be broken, and its residents will stop at nothing to get their way. Catch all the Landview shenanigans on an all-new episode of One Life to Live, weeknights at 9 on SoapNet.